That's why the punishment was there. Apostasy is, the pre-modern world, apostasy was the norm. If you were in a religion, you chose to leave it, pretty much it was a death sentence. So the Jews have apostasy laws. Christianity followed Judaism, so that would have been Jesus' position, but their apostasy laws came through the church. So they had apostasy laws. So it was, I don't think modern people now, those are ahkam sultaniyah. And it's important to remember, the Prophet ﷺ said in a sound hadith, لَتَنْقَضِيَنَّ عُرَى الْإِسْلَامِ عُرْوَةً عُرْوَةً. The rungs of Islam, so to speak. Urwa is really what you hold on to, but those placeholders of Islam are going to go one by one. And he said, كُلُّ مَا تَنْقَضِي عُرْوَةٌ يَتَشَبَّثَ النَّاسُ بِالَّتِي تَرِيهَا. Every time one of those holding places goes, people will cling to the next one. And he said, أَوَّلُهَا, the first one, أَوَّلُهَا, انتقاضا is al-hukmu. The first thing to go will be governance. And the last thing to go will be prayer. So the idea that Islamic law is coming back is a modern fantasy. This kind of idea that some of these Islamic movements have put out there, we need to reestablish Sharia. You're going to apply Sharia in the modern world. You create consumer societies, put false desires into people, and then you're going to, cut off their hands when they steal things. I don't think it's going to work. So, I'm not an advocate of re-implementation of hudud and all these things. I think it's long gone. It's been long gone. And the Prophet ﷺ said the sign of jahiliyyah is when you implement on weak people and leave the strong people. Well, if that's not the modern world, I don't know what is. So just to have these superficial implementations of had punishment and say we're establishing Sharia. That's not Sharia. Sharia is creating social justice, is creating an environment of brotherhood and love where people actually take care of each other. And then, in that situation where people break those social trusts and bonds, there should be harsh punishments. But even in the harsh punishments, if you look at Sharia, Sayyidina Umar caught a man stealing once. And he said, and this is sound, he said, "Did you steal? Say no." And the man said no. And he said, "Get out of here." Wallahi. They've got this fantasy that these people were these bloodthirsty. They wanted to protect people, to hide them. In Maliki madhab, for adultery, if a woman becomes pregnant, you're supposed to ask her, the qadi is supposed to say, "Did you go to the hammam? Did you use a washcloth that somebody had used before?" Like inseminating herself. "Did you swim in a pool that a man had swum?" It's like trying to find excuses for people. It's not, and then also if your own daughter got pregnant, you're supposed to veil her. You're not supposed to kill her. You're supposed to veil her. What they used to do is they would keep them in the house, give birth, and then they would actually attribute the child to themselves. That's rahmah. This other thing is very alien. I don't know what's happened to people personally. I really don't. I don't know what happened to people. But all this harshness, and it has nothing to do with the Sharia of the Prophet ﷺ. His Sharia was mercy. And the had punishments are real, and I believe in them. It's not like I don't believe in them, so don't get me wrong. But I do believe that they have been grossly misinterpreted, and I also believe that implementation of them in the current social conditions would be a grave injustice. That's my personal opinion. You can take that or leave it. So